Your police notes with you.
Hello, my name is Saudi Permatasari and I'm playing as a judge.
Hello, my name is Ima Greta Bolon and I'm playing as a clerk.
Hello, my name is Akfa Kamila and I'm playing as a prosecutor.
Hello, my name is Ali Nebal. I'm playing as a defendant.
Hello, my name is Kevin Angelo Pangaribuan and I'm playing as a lawyer.
Hello, I'm Margareta Sintali Siombing and I'm playing as the witness. Order in court, all raise please. Court in session, please be seated.
Good morning everyone, my name is Saudi Perdayan and Mr. Aldi, is it here? Good morning sir, alright. Are there any issues that council wish to raise before we get started? No?
No, Your Honor.
Alright, thank you. Alright, Ms. Lord, then could you please arrange Mr. Aldi?
Adinebaho is charged that he on or about the 10th day of March 2010 in central of Jakarta did assault causing bodily harm Bagas Santoso contrary to section 354 Criminal Code. Adinebaho, how do you plead to this charge, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Adinebaho is charged that he on or about the 10th day of March 2010 in central of Jakarta did rob Bagas Santoso contrary to section 362 of the Criminal Code. Adinebaho, how do you plead to this charge, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Please be seated.
Thank you. Alright, and do you wish to make an opening statement?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Kevin. This is a case of mistaken identity on the evening of March 10, 2010. Our client, Aldi Naibaho, was at his local recreation center playing cricket basketball and spoke to the youth leader of the center about post-secondary and scholarship information. He was not in the alley when Mr. Bagas was assaulted and robbed. Our client, Mr. Aldi, is a 16-year-old youth in grade 10. While he was convicted of shoplifting 18 months ago, he has put his life in order and is on the right path. Mr. Aldi had a part-time job. He is doing well in school. He is looking into going in college for technology and applying for scholarships. He also goes to the homework club and plays basketball 3 times a week at his local recreation center. It is unanticipated that Mr. Ali will say he will assault and rob another youth and jeopardize his future. Today, you will hear from one defense witnesses, Aldi, and we anticipate that Mr. Aldi will describe that on the night in question, at about 6 o'clock p.m., he and his friend Hans Kelly left his apartment because he was upset about not being able to buy a new pair of basketball shoes. When prompted by his friend to steal the shoes from the store, Mr. Ali declined because he didn't want to jeopardize his part-time job and decided to do something constructive by spending the evening playing basketball at the local recreation center. We will also hear from Mr. Ali. During that evening, he spoke to the youth leader of the recreation center about different college courses and scholarship, and about 8:30 p.m. he left the recreation center by himself and walked straight home. Finally, Mr. Ali will describe to the court that about a month later, a police officer knocked on his apartment door and told him he was under arrest for assault causing bodily harm and robbery. The officer then picked up a pair of basketball shoes outside of Mr. Aldi's apartment building and not inside his actual dwelling, and didn't bother to ask Mr. Aldi about them. We anticipate that Mr. Aldi will say he had never seen the shoes before.
Good morning, sir. Would you please state your name for the court?
Aldi Daksana Nebo.
Could you please spell your first and last name?
ALDXYNAIDXO.
Would you like to affirm or swear on the Holy Book?
Yes.
Do you swear that the evidence you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Miss Akfa Kamila,
Good morning.
and I will be conducting the direct examination for Constable Margaret Hills.
Alright, go ahead.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the court?
Margaret Hills.
And what is your current profession?
I am employed by the Center of Jakarta Police Service,
And what is division are you located at?
13th Division.
What are 13 division located?
It is located near Sudirman in center of Jakarta.
I see. You have brought your police notes with you. Were they written at the time of the event?
Yes, they were.
And are they in your own handwriting?
Yes, they are.
Are they in pen or pencil?
They're in the pen.
Have you made any addition, deletion, or correction?
Not at all.
Do you have an independent recollection of the event?
I do.
And do you need your notes to refresh your memory?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, may Constable Margaret use her notes to refresh her memory?
Does the defense have any objections to the constable using her notes to refresh her memory?
No, Your Honor. No objections.
Thanks.
I'm going to take you back to the evening of March 10, 2010. What were you doing at approximately 7 o'clock p.m.?
At 7 o'clock, I was called down to inspect an assault and a robbery near Sudirman Street.
Can you describe the crime scene and its surrounding?
Well, about 10 meters before the L-way, there was a lamp post facing down, and there were also ample lighting from surrounding buildings from the L-way.
And after you investigate at the crime scene, And after you investigate at the crime scene, what was the next stage of your investigation?
Well, the next day, on March 11, I was called down to the hospital to see the victim, Bagas Santoso, in hospital.
Can you describe the appearance of Mr. Bagas at the time of the interview?
Well, he was bruised, black eyes, broken nose, he was bandaged up on his ribs and lying on the hospital bed.
And what happened during interview?
Well, I obtained a full report from Mr. Bagas.
After the interview, what happened next in your investigation?
On April 9, I received a phone call from the principal of Sudirman Secondary School, and she was calling regarding an individual at the school.
Just one police objection, Your Honor.
And what is the basis of your objection?
The evidence is hearsay.
Alright, any response?
Yes, Your Honor. This is basically part of the narrative as to why Aldi Wicaksana was suspect and why he was further sought out to be questioned, and also the rumor ongoing to be used for the truth of the matter. Is this basically for the narrative as to why he was suspect?
Alright. I am prepared to admit the evidence as a part of narrative to explain the officer's actions and what happened, but not for the truth of the contents.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead, thank you.
So, okay. And why did the principal contact you?
Well, she contacted me because there was a student at the school, and there's rumors about this student that they had assaulted and robbed a younger youth earlier on and stole their basketball shoes.
And who was the student in the question?
It was Aldi Naibahu.
Was any further action taken?
Yes, to see and to clarify whether or not Aldi Naibahu was in the L-way, I made a photo lineup so Bagas could pick out whether or not Aldi was in it.
And how did you conduct this photo lineup?
Well, basically, the photo lineup had 6 individuals, all male, and they had similar characteristics such as jawline, facial features, hair color, eye color, and skin tone.
And did Mr. Bagas recognize anyone in this photo lineup?
Yes, he picked out his first choice was Aldi Naibahu.
Okay, and what happened on April 10, 2010?
Well, I went to the apartment building of Aldi Naibahu to ask him a few questions, and outside of the apartment, I did find a pair of basketball shoes that matched the exact description of Bagas Santoso's stolen basketball shoes.
Can you describe these basketball shoes?
Well, they were high tops and they were black and blue.
Your Honor, may I please approach the witness?
Go ahead.
Are these the basketball shoes that you obtained?
Yes, they were.
Your Honor, may this be entered as exhibit as the witness has identified them as the stolen goods?
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Alright, thank you. Go ahead. Those will be entered as an exhibit then.
And what happened next after you entered the apartment complex?
I arrested Aldi Naibahu for assault causing bodily harm and for robbery. And as we were leaving the apartment, I picked up the basketball shoes and put them in the sealed evidence bag. And I put them in my locker until I brought them to court today as evidence.
Okay, no further question, Your Honor.
Alright, will the lawyer give Cross-examination or another evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Kevin, and today I'll be giving one evidence using the CCTV from the community center building.
Sure, show it.
On this record CCTV, we can see that Mr. Aldi and Mr. Wong are talking together at 10 March 2010 around evening. But from Mr. Aldi's confession, they were discussing about the scholarship and college information. Mr. Wong gave that information to Mr. Aldi around afternoon, to be exact, at 8 o'clock. Also, we can see there's no evidence that Mr. Hans Kelly was around at that time. Your Honor, this is a case of mistaken identity and the defense that the Crown has not proven beyond a reasonable doubt that our client, Mr. Aldi, was in contact with Mr. Bagas on March 10, 2010. Mr. Aldi is a hardworking student with a bright future ahead of him. He is working with Mr. Wong at the local recreation center towards scholarships and attending college. He has a job and often uses the recreation center's facilities, such as the homework center or the basketball or the basketball court. Mr. Aldi has elaborated that he understands a criminal charge will be detrimental to his future. He has testified that he was never in the alley and did not commit this attack. The Crown's witnesses, Abaga Santoso, has clearly suffered a grievous attack, and as anyone will be seeking justice for what has been done to him. However, the defense admits that in his search for justice, Mr. Bagas based his choice on a distant memory of a stressful situation that occurred some time ago. The Crown witnesses have confirmed from the court that the lighting in the alley was poor, and the defense admits that Mr. Bagas chose a photo based on presumption and not a stable knowledge. The court has heard from the Crown witnesses that Mr. Bagas thought he recognized one of the people in the photos, and only after he was prompted by Constable Margaret did he clarify his answer and say that he was positive. Today, the court has heard from Mr. Aldi, a credible witness, who explained that on March 10th, he left his apartment at 6 p.m. with his friend Hans Kelly, arrived at the local rec center at 6:40 where he played pickup basketball and later spoke to Mr. Wong about different courses and scholarship for college. Leaving the rec center at 8:30 without Mr. Hans, Mr. Aldi walked home. Mr. Aldi further elaborated for the court that a month later, Constable Margaret came to his apartment, arrested him, and as they left, she picked up a pair of basketball shoes, which Mr. Aldi had not seen before that were in fact outside the apartment building, not inside. The court also heard from Constable Margaret and the CCTV, whose combined testimonies validate Mr. Aldi's testimony. The CCTV confirmed for the court that Mr. Wong did speak to Aldi that night regarding scholarships and college, and further elaborated that there were many new people at the rec center, as it was a cold month, explaining why Mr. Aldi did not recognize him. Constable Margaret confirmed for the court that she did pick up the basketball shoes outside the apartment and not inside it. Your Honor, today we seek an acquittal of all charges. This concludes the defense evidence. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, counsel, for your assistance. I'm going to take a break for a few moments to consider the evidence and also your closing statement, and I will return in a few moments time and render effect.
All rise, please. Court is resisted. Order in court, rise please. Court now is reconvened. Please be seated.
I'd like to thank all of you for your patience, and I would like to commend counsel for the favorable jobs that you did at this point. I would like ordinarily give a detailed review and assessment of all the evidence. However, given the nature of this exercise, I'm going to be very brief. Mr. Aldi Naibaho has been charged with robbery and assault causing bodily harm in particular. It is alleged that on the evening of March 10, 2010, Mr. Aldi and another individual brutally attacked Mr. Bagas Santoso and stole his running shoes. In order for Mr. Aldi to be found guilty of these offenses, the Crown must be established an essential elements of each of these two offenses beyond a reasonable doubt. I have no doubt that Mr. Bagas was indeed assaulted and robbed the evening of March 10th. The sole issues in this case is whether it is Mr. Aldi who was one of the two individuals who was responsible. I do not question Mr. Bagas' credibility. However, there are inherent frailties to eyewitness identification, notwithstanding that the identification is honestly made. There is an unfortunate record in this country of cases in which individuals has been wrongfully convicted on the basis of eyewitness testimony. The court therefore must be very cautious in relying on this testimony alone as a basis for finding of guilt. I also found the evidence of a CCTV video to be credible evidence. I accept this evidence that video of he indeed did see Mr. Bagas on the evening of March 10th at some point before 8 p.m. It is possible that Mr. Aldi would have both been in the alleyway the evening of March 10th, encountered Mr. Bagas at the time, and then went on the recreation center, at which point he saw Mr. Wong. However, there was no evidence before me as to time it would take to get from Mr. Aldi homes to recreation center except for Mr. Aldi evidence. I appreciate that Mr. Bagas had horrible experience the evening of March 10. It is understandable that he would want to see the procurator called to account. However, our criminal justice system requires that before someone could be found guilty of criminal offense, their guilt must be established beyond a reasonable doubt in the circumstances of this case. Based on the evidence that I heard, I conclude that the Crown has not established its case beyond a reasonable doubt. Mr. Aldi, I would ask you to stand now. Therefore, find you not guilty of these two offenses which you have been charged. You are free to leave. Thank you.
All rise, please. Court is adjourned for the day.